Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out another selfie drone from Xiaomi. This is the MITU drone. This is another little tiny selfie drone with 8.5mm brushed motors, 720p camera. Obviously another competitor to the DJI Rise Tello. That's a very popular selfie drone that's out right now. That runs off of Wi-Fi FPV on your phone. This also runs off of Wi-Fi FPV on your phone as well. This does have a couple different new features. This is like IR sensors or IR blasters in the front and back, I believe. Yeah, there's one back here. And then you could do this like IR battle game if you have like another one of these. If like, say you have one for each of your kids, they could use that to battle each other. I don't have two of these, so I wasn't able to test that, but supposedly that's how you can do it. And I haven't seen any videos or any demonstrations of how that works. But that is in the app if you want to try that out. That's the one thing that's kind of different. And then, of course, it has the optical flow sensor on the bottom. I think in this case, is an ultrasonic sensor. So it might just be using ultrasonic to bounce sounds off the ground to figure out where it is. It did have some issues in the wind over grass. It did a little bit over sidewalks. But on the day that I flew this, it was a little bit calmer than on some. Lately, it's been pretty windy around here, and when I was flying some of the other selfie drones like the Tello and the E-Sheen one, that was quite a bit more windy. This one did seem to handle at least the small amount of wind that was there at the time. And overall, it's a pretty interesting design. It's pretty basic. It's round, and then it's a TrueX design for the where the motors are. This battery here, it does pop off here. It's a circular battery, but it's actually square in underneath. And you can see here's what the battery looks like. Typical battery looks like it's got the kind of cell phone connection type of contacts there, and you obviously just charge it inside the drone itself. So you got your power button on this side. Just press and hold that to turn it on. This is the little latch that releases the battery, and then your USB port here is on this side. You can use that for charging, and also you can retrieve your video and photo files off of the internal memory here. And it has 4 gigabytes of internal memory that will save the video and photos to that. That's one of the differences between this one and a lot of the other selfie drones out there. And this is the one feature that this has that the Tello really needs that doesn't have. That's why the Tello has like the stuttering video, because it's sending all the video back over Wi-Fi. This actually saves your video directly on the drone, on the internal storage, and so you don't have any of that stuttering or weird effects like that. What this doesn't have that the Tello has is stabilized video, or it's electronically stabilized video, so the Tello can be bouncing around a little bit, and that video doesn't look as shaky as it does in this one. That's probably a feature that I wish that this one had, because it does have the internal memory storage for storing your videos and photos. You'll take a quick look at the app here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and you got some lights on the bottom. And then it'll take a little bit of time for it to initialize. When you get the Connect Now button here on the app, and then it should try and search for it, and just tap on that, and it should connect to it. Now there was a link in the Chinese manual that came with this. It didn't come with an English manual. That went to a download page for the app, but the actual app for this drone you can actually get in the Google Play Store, and I'll put a link in the description for that. That's the one I actually downloaded, and this is what I'm running right now. You can see here the camera is working, and of course, like with all Wi-Fi FPV, there is a little bit of lag. It's a pretty narrow field of view, as you can probably tell. You can see the shadow of the props here on the table, but the props don't show up in the view of the camera. It's because the field of view is pretty narrow, so keep that in mind, that it's really not a wide angled camera on this thing. Okay, so just to go over the app real quick, have your settings button over here, and you can go into your gallery, camera, Wi-Fi management, firmware updates. There's this thing called height restriction, and it defaults to 2.5 meters, but I changed mine to 5 meters. You can go all the way up to 25 meters. So it actually does altitude hold and will detect what altitude you're at, and it won't go above a certain altitude. And you actually kind of need that because the optical flow sensor doesn't work all that great when you get higher up, and it actually drips a lot more. And here's some of the other settings that you can change here: horizontal calibration, joystick sensitivity. You can change your joystick mode, mode 1 to mode 2, etc. And then there's a little beginner's guide here. you can go over that isn't actually in English, and this is the stuff that was in the manual that was in Chinese. It's just basically some safety stuff. Generally speaking, this is fairly easy to use. Okay, so you're back in here in the app. You can use this button here to take photos, and then this button here will start and stop your videos. Pretty simple here. This shows your battery power and your Wi-Fi strength. And then to take off, you're going to hit this button here, and you'll get a little prompt to confirm. And then I believe that will turn into a landing icon when you're flying. This mode here is the G sensor mode, where you can use the phone's gyro to fly the drone. That's pretty common in a lot of the toy drones right now. And of course, here you got your virtual sticks on the screen. Obviously, just increase altitude, decrease altitude, yaw left, yaw right, and then pitch forward, backward, left, and right. And just like on the tele, you can tap anywhere on the screen, and the sticks will move to wherever your thumbs are. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so I'm here at the park, and I'm going to be testing the MITU Selfie drone. It's a pretty calm day, no wind, so should get some pretty good video. And let's go ahead and take this off. I'm recording video now on the drone. So it did go a little bit backwards there. Now it's hovering right over the concrete, as you can see. Pretty stable. You can see there I am. Looks like the field of view pretty narrow. Not too bad though. Hard to see the screen. My phone screen is very kind of bright out there, even though it's cloudy. Let's go ahead, we'll just fly around a little bit. So I finally got a calm day where there's not a whole lot of wind. This thing seems to be fairly locked in, at least looking at it line of sight. And pretty easy to fly with just the phone controls. Altitude hold working pretty well. Let's raise it up a little bit. I did increase the height restriction. The default height restriction is 2.5 meters. And I raised it up to 5 meters. One of the nice things about this one is that it records directly on the drone. There's a 4 GB micro SD card inside the drone. So we won't have the stuttering that we have on the Tello. It does definitely feel like it's locked in. Let's toggle it around here. You got me in shot here. Let's grab a few photos. Stop that video. And grab a couple photos. Alright, we'll go ahead and start up the video again. Let's take it up a little higher. Let's see how high it'll go. Alright, so that's 5 meters right there. That's the maximum height that it's set at currently. I still have a solid connection. No warnings. It does give you a warning on the screen that the maximum height has been reached. It is fluttering around a little bit up there. Perhaps due to a little bit extra breeze up there. It'll bring it down a little bit. And there are some other warnings, I think, regarding the terrain. Maybe the optical flow is having some issues being let that high up. Perhaps that's why there's the height restriction. And
battery low. Please be careful.
Now I'm getting a battery low warning. So I didn't have a very long flight so far. It's only been about 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe the battery needs a little bit of time to cycle. Alright, so let's bring it in a little closer. Just going to let the battery run down all the way.
Battery low. Please be careful.
A bird just swooped on by here. Didn't like this, I think.
Battery low. Please be careful. Battery low. Please. Battery low. Please be careful.
Thank you very much. The battery low warning is kind of annoying. And the wind is starting to pick up. I think I am about to end the flight soon here. Yeah, there's a wind coming from behind me, and it's definitely causing the drone to be slow coming back towards me.
Battery low. Please be careful.
Let's see how it does. It's holding position in the wind here, and you can see that it is drifting off because of the wind. So that, just like a lot of the other selfie drones with optical flow, it does seem to have issues with wind and drift. Let me get it over the concrete here, see if it is able to hold position better. Yeah, so over grass it doesn't do as well, but over the concrete here, it is able to maintain its position. So grass is not so good. I heard asphalt isn't very good either. It has something to do with the visual pattern of the ground surface it has trouble with. So yeah, you're kind of restricted as to where you can fly this if it's windy. Now the wind did die down a little bit here. Let's put this back over the grass. And yeah, it seems okay now. The wind is a little bit less, but I think if the wind's stronger, it's going to have a little bit of an issue. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the flight here. Interestingly, I stopped getting the battery low warnings. Let's go ahead and land.